Hello, everyone. Welcome back to RENUBENZ. I hope you're doing great. Congratulations on reaching the final part of our Python data structures and algorithms course. In our previous videos, we learned about Python data structures, searching algorithms, sorting algorithms, recursion, and hashing. Today, we will complete this course by learning trees, heap, graph, collections module, time complexity, and mini projects. These topics are widely used in software development, artificial intelligence, networking, databases, and many other fields. So let's begin. Let's start with trees. A tree is a hierarchical data structure. It consists of nodes connected by branches. Unlike a linked list, a tree can have multiple levels. The first node is called the root node. The nodes below it are called child nodes. Nodes without children are called leaf nodes. Trees help us organize data in a structured way. Think about your computer folders. The main folder contains subfolders. Each subfolder may contain more folders and files. This forms a tree structure. Trees are also used in file systems, databases, search engines, and AI decision-making. First, we create a class called treeNode. Every node stores a value. It also has two references, one for the left child, one for the right child. Initially, both children are. None. Next, we create the root node. Then, we create the left child. Finally, we create the right child. When we print these values, Python displays the root, left child, and right child. This is the basic structure of a binary tree. Now let's create a binary search tree. A binary search tree follows one important rule. Every value smaller than the parent goes to the left. Every value larger than the parent goes to the right. This makes searching much faster. First, we create an empty binary search tree. Next, we insert numbers one by one. Python automatically places every number in the correct position. Finally, we perform an in-order traversal. In-order traversal prints numbers in ascending order. This is one of the biggest advantages of binary search trees. Now let's learn heap. A heap is a special type of binary tree. There are two types, min heap and max heap. In a min heap, the smallest element is always at the top. In a max heap, the largest element is always at the top. Python provides the heap queue module, which creates a min heap. First, we import heap@q. Then, we create a list of numbers. Next, we convert it into a heap using heapify. Python automatically rearranges the numbers. Now, the smallest number is always stored at the root. Then, we insert another number using heappush. Finally, we remove the smallest value using hapop. Every removal always returns the smallest element. Heaps are used in priority queues, CPU scheduling, task scheduling, hospital emergency systems, and navigation systems. Whenever the highest priority task should be processed first, heaps are used. Now let's learn graphs. Graphs are one of the most powerful data structures. A graph contains vertices and edges. Vertices are points. Edges connect those points. Unlike trees, graphs can have many different connections. Graphs are used in Google Maps, Facebook Friends, Instagram followers, computer networks, flight routes, road navigation, and recommendation systems. Here, we create a graph using a dictionary. Each key represents one vertex. Each value stores all connected vertices. This is called an adjacency list. It is one of the most common ways to represent graphs. Now let's learn BFS breadth first search. BFS visits every neighbor before moving deeper. It uses a queue. We create an empty set called visited. This keeps track of visited nodes. Next, we create a queue. The starting node is added. Now, Python repeatedly removes one node, prints it, marks it as visited, and adds all of its neighbors. This continues until the queue becomes empty. Now let's learn DFS depth first search. Instead of visiting neighbors first, DFS keeps moving deeper. DFS usually uses recursion or a stack. The function starts from one node. It prints the node, marks it as visited. Then, recursively visits every connected neighbor. It continues until there are no more nodes to visit. BFS explores level by level. DFS explores depth first. BFS uses queue. DFS uses stack or recursion. Both algorithms are extremely important in interviews. Now let's learn about Python's collections module. Python provides many advanced data structures inside the collections module. These help us write better and shorter code. Today, we will learn 4 important ones: counter, DefaultDict, NamedTuple, ChainMap. Counter counts how many times each item appears. Instead of writing loops, Python does everything automatically. We import counter, then we count every letter inside the word banana. Python returns the frequency of every character. Very simple. Normally, accessing a missing dictionary key gives an error. DefaultDict automatically creates a default value. This makes coding much easier. We import DefaultDict. We create a dictionary of marks. When we access a key that doesn't exist, instead of giving an error, Python returns 0. Normally, tuples are accessed using indexes. NamedTuple allows us to access values using names. This makes code much easier to read. We create a student. Instead of writing student0 or student1, we simply write student.name or student.age. Much cleaner. ChainMap combines multiple dictionaries. Instead of merging dictionaries manually, Python lets us access both together. We create default settings, then user settings. Finally, ChainMap combines both. Whenever the same key exists, the first dictionary has higher priority. Now let's learn one of the most important interview topics, time complexity. Time complexity tells us how the running time changes when the input becomes larger. It does not measure actual seconds. Instead, it measures how the algorithm grows. O of 1 constant time. The running time never changes. Example, accessing one element in a list. O of n. Linear time. The running time increases with the number of elements. Example, linear search. O of n squared. Quadratic time. Usually happens when we use nested loops. Example, bubble sort. Imagine searching one number inside 1 million values. A slow algorithm might take several seconds. A better algorithm can finish almost instantly. That is why choosing the correct algorithm is important. Now let's combine everything we learned. Programming becomes easier when we build projects. The notebook contains 3 beginner-friendly projects. The contact book stores names and phone numbers. It uses dictionaries. We can add contacts, search contacts, and display contacts. This is a simple example of real-world programming. The Student Marks Manager stores students and marks. Then, it calculates the average. This project uses lists, dictionaries, functions, and loops. It combines multiple concepts into one program. The to-do list stores tasks. We can add tasks, remove tasks, and display tasks. This project uses lists and functions. It is a great beginner project. Now it's your turn. Try these challenges. Create your own binary search tree. Implement a max heap. Build a graph using different cities. Write BFS and DFS yourself. Create your own contact book. Improve the to-do list by saving tasks into a file. The more you practice, the better programmer you become. Congratulations! You have completed the entire Python Data Structures and Algorithms course. Let's quickly recap everything we learned. Strings, lists, tuples, sets, dictionaries, stack, queue, arrays, linked lists, searching algorithms, sorting algorithms, recursion, hashing, trees, heap, graph, collections, module, time, complexity, mini projects. This is a strong foundation for Python programming and technical interviews. Keep practicing the examples in the notebook. Modify the programs. Build your own small projects. Programming is a skill that improves with practice. Thank you so much for joining me throughout this complete Python Data Structures and Algorithms course. I truly hope this series helped you understand the concepts in a simple and practical way. If you found these videos helpful, please support the channel by liking the videos, subscribing, and sharing them with your friends. If you have any questions or want tutorials on Python projects, AI, web development, or interview preparation, let me know in the comments. Thank you once again for watching. This is RENUBENZ signing off. Keep learning, keep building, and most importantly, keep coding.